Welcome back to part 3 of this series on navigating caregiving life once your loved one is in a facility. I'm dementia coach Diane, and my husband Ben is living with Lewy body dementia, which is rather advanced. Now, at this point, I'm still able to take care of him at home, but I've been mindfully investigating what the possibilities might be in the event that I can't take care of him at home safely anymore. If it gets to the point where it's not safe for him or it's not safe for me, then that is going to be an option that I'll explore. So for those of you who are either considering this option or have a loved one who's already in a facility, I'm hoping that together we can share our ideas, because we want our loved ones, of course, to be safe and be peaceful no matter where they are. And we need that too. So in the first video, we talked about a follower who sent in a case study about the fact that she was actually visiting her husband too often, and it was causing him agitation and upset. In the next video, we talked about some of the things that are in your control if your loved one is in a facility, and things that are not in your control. And in this part 3, I want to talk about how do we know if our loved ones are okay when we're not there? So we're going to take a look at some of the clues and, again, some of the ways that you could work with the staff to do the best you can to ensure that they're taking good care of your loved one. So, are they really okay when we're not there? It's a big question. But there are some signs to look for, and there are ways that we can support the staff, as I said, to give the best possible care. So the first thing that I would want to do if Ben was in a facility is to observe his overall energy and his mood. And so here are a few positive signs that you can look for. Are they calm or content during your visits? Do they seem clean, well-groomed, and well-fed? Are they engaging in small ways, maybe smiling or tapping their fingers or humming? That's one of the first ways that I know that Ben is okay when he's with a caregiver here at home. I listen for that. If I'm up here in my office and I hear him tapping on the tabletop and humming, I'm like, okay, he's all right. If they don't panic when you leave, and if their behavior is consistent with what the staff is reporting. So you want to make sure those two things are in alignment. And let's face it, it's not only okay, but, it's normal if they're not happy all the time. I mean, let's face it, none of us are. But you want to look for signs of comfort, safety, and stability. And those are things worth celebrating. Now, sometimes it might be hard to tell. Again, how are they really when I'm not there? And if you're unsure, one of the things you can do is ask the staff some questions, or at least ask them of yourself. What times of day seem to be hardest for my loved one? Do they seem more confused after certain routines or medications? Are they participating in activities or resisting them? Do they seem to enjoy being around the staff or other residents? So again, these are just questions that you can ask yourself even, and just start to tune in to what's going on. And, I talk sometimes about being a detective in dementia care. I mean, we don't have to be a Sherlock Holmes, but we want to be involved no matter where our loved ones are. And the staff in a facility is going to be more likely to communicate when they know that you're collaborative and not combative. Here's a truth that I don't think enough people say out loud, and that's that in most facilities, staff are overworked and underappreciated. And you probably know what I mean, because that's true of us at home as caregivers, right? But certainly in facilities. And, they've got people coming in all the time, probably making demands, and yet very seldom are they getting compliments or appreciation. So I find, and this is true of anybody, this is true of my caregivers here at home, and it would certainly be true if Ben was in a facility, but when we build trust with the staff, then magic happens. So, here's some of the ways that I certainly do it with my caregivers here at home, and I would do it if Ben was in a facility. But I would learn the staff's names and I would use them. I would share, Ben's history, his preferences, and the cues that he's comfortable. I would acknowledge what's going well. I would thank them for it. I would not just focus on what was going wrong. It's tempting to do, but we want to balance our feedback with what's going well so they'll keep on doing it and perhaps things that could be improved upon. I would ask them what they need to do their job better. And I think overall, in terms of a focus, I would be a partner with them, not just someone who's coming in to monitor how well they're taking care of my loved one. It's true for all of us. Little things go a long way. A kind word, a handwritten note, box of snacks, in the break room. Little things like this can build goodwill. And also getting engaged with the other, what am I trying to say? The family of other residents there. Because as you get to know them, you can help each other help the staff. You can help each other with their loved ones. Maybe you're there one day when, somebody else doesn't have a family member there, and you can engage with somebody else who's a resident. And it might help your loved one to learn that they can relax and engage with the other residents there too. So often, I find that Ben follows my lead. If I'm comfortable, if I'm relaxed, if I'm smiling and engaging with other people and including him, then he feels more comfortable doing that too. So there are many things that are within our control when our loved one is in a facility, and they're kind of just good principles for life in terms of being kind, focusing on what's working, and partnering with the people who are taking care of your loved one. So bottom line is, if you have a loved one in a facility, you certainly can't be there 24/7, but the care doesn't end when you leave. So if you stay engaged and you observe and you collaborate with the staff, then you're still doing one of the most powerful jobs there is, and that's being your loved one's advocate. So once again, you are not alone on this caregiving journey, whether you're taking care of your loved one at home or in a facility. And please, if you've had good experiences with your loved one in a facility or challenging ones, please share them in the comments, because I'd love to learn more. That might be an option that I'm going to have to take at some point, and your story might just help another caregiver who needs it right now and needs to feel less alone. So once again, thank you for giving this a thumbs up if it's helpful. Please share any other topics you'd like me to expand on, and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. God bless you all. Together, we've got this. Together, we're stronger. Thanks so much for watching.